Hi friends, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. Today I wanted to share with you those cards that I made from our kit that we looked at yesterday called The Road to Christmas. Before I do that though, quickly, I do have some things I need to share, and that is, for those of you that are new, I'm Rita. I like to create card and scrapbook page designs, as well as 3D projects. I like to share those with you in hopes that it will inspire you to create and to share with those that matter in your life. Now, I do want to say that if you're watching here on Facebook, please consider following me. Your likes and comments are very welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, then please consider subscribing to my channel and also hitting that bell icon so that you'll be notified of new uploaded content. Okay, I also wanted to quickly remind you that we are having a 15% off sale on the stamps and stamp tools, and that would be either out of our annual catalog, our online exclusives, or in the mini catalog. And that is stamps only. It's not the bundles, just the stamps. But this is a great way to get some of those stamps at a good discount. And if you're needing maybe some acrylic blocks, those are also on sale. Maybe you need a chamois, that's on sale. The masking sheets are also on sale. So really would be to your benefit to just go online and just hit happening now, and it will take you to the stamp and stamp tool sale, and you can see what's on sale there. But you do only have 24 hours, and I'm actually doing the video today, even though I wasn't going to do it till tomorrow, because I really want you to have the full day, which is tomorrow, September 18th. So this is all based on Mountain Standard Time, so you definitely want to get in on this sale. So that's what I wanted to share with you about that. And now let's get into what I wanted to share with you today. So you know that I'm hosting the Christmas cards the easy way. This is a month-long event for me, but if you're following along, it definitely gives you a 12-week period to do the same that I'm doing in a month, and that is to get all my Christmas cards done. Now I'm doing 75 to 100, but you definitely can do less. Whatever the total number of cards is that you need, you would just divide that number by 12, because you have 12 weeks to do it, and that's how many cards a week that you'd need to make. Now you can make multiple designs. You can make the same design, just multiple cards. Whatever works for you. I am doing multiple designs and 75 to 100 cards. So I wanted to invite you to visit me while I go on this journey, and hopefully you'll get some ideas and some tips. I'll be using different techniques and different fun folds, and so hopefully that will help you or inspire you is basically my goal. All right, so you know yesterday we talked about this kit that I decided to use, and the reason I purchased it in the beginning was I thought, what if there's a week that things are just helter-skelter and I just need a break, kind of, and I thought I still want to stay on task. So I went ahead and bought this, and I'm glad I did, because what's the nice thing about the kits is everything in this box, all the materials needed to create the cards are in this box. So this box is inclusive. It's all inclusive, and it tells you inside how many cards you'll be able to make. So this box is empty. We opened it yesterday, so I'll just move it to the side. But you can see from the instructions that we can make 8 cards easily from the contents in that box. The directions are illustrations, basically. You even have a ruler on the side if you need that, but so there isn't an issue of a language barrier. Now we do have crafters in France, in Europe, Australia. So sometimes things are done in a different language, but these are pictures, so you can definitely use them that way. And on the back of this this illustrated instruction sheet, I'm getting so anxious here. I need to slow down. So you can see what's in the kit, and you can see that there are sentiment strips. There are 2 of those top layers that are already stamped. They're pre-designed for you. There are card bases. There are 8 card bases, and these card bases are plaid. They're using the Pool Party and the Lost Lagoon. And then there's 8 envelopes, and the envelopes are already decorated so you can see them. So the flap has this red plaid like butcher block, and then the front has the trees. And then your adhesive is also in the kit, and then all the ephemera you need. How cute are these little trucks? These remind me of the trucks. I remember when Ray Dunn was such a popular font. It was kind of like the farmhouse decor thing. And so these are part of that. And then there's little dogs and there's presents. So that's all in the kit. And so if you wanted to make the cards just like the kits, like here's a card just as the kit would have suggested. So you see that there is that top layer that they've already printed for you, decorated. And then here's the truck and the little dog, and there's a little slit here where you can slide in that tree. So it looks like the car is carrying the tree, and then here's the sentiment. So what was great about this kit is there was very little prep that I had to do. The prep that I had to do is because I decided to do that prep, but I really could have gotten along without doing it if I really wanted to. So anyway, here's the inside. This is something I did on my own. I stamped a message inside because the cards come unstamped, and I wanted to show you, especially since we are having our stamp sale, I wanted to show you the sentiment that I stamped on there. So I stamped, may your holiday season be filled with joy and happiness. That's not the one I stamped. I stamped, may the magic of Christmas fill each corner of your home and heart. And then there were extra trees, so I just put one inside to for some continuity. And then that would go inside the envelope. And all I really have to do at this point is address it. If I want to write a message, and put my return address, and that one's ready to go. So I did a few of those, and then I'm just going to go through them as they're piled up here because I don't want everything on the floor. But here's another card. Now I did change this card up. I still used that printed layer, but I matted it on some early espresso because on the back of our instruction sheet, it does list that early espresso is a coordinating color. And so I just wanted to change it up. And also, as I said, these kits are all inclusive, but you know, I like to bring in product from my craft room and stretch it. And I was hoping to get 20 cards out of that kit so that I would fulfill my weekly obligation. I didn't get the 20 cards, but I got pretty close. But that was the intent. And so I did use up some leftover adhesive dots because there was no bling in the kit. And I am so used to bling, and I love it on my cards, that I just had to reach for some. So that's that. And then because I did add a product and I extended the kit, I had to do some more sentiment strips. And so this is white embossing on black, and I used 'Tis the Season. So that comes from the traditional labels stamp set. And there's that. Let's see the inside. So when I knew I was going to be using this kit, and I knew that it was a break, The one thing I did do is I took some 4 by 5¼ inches worth of basic white pieces, and I went ahead with my, I have a stamp apparatus, but definitely we don't carry those anymore, so a MISTI is the same thing. So if you don't have a stamp positioner, let me encourage you that as soon as you can, that's probably something that will make your life way more comfortable, especially if you're going to do multiple things, because you set it up for one card and then you can do all of them, and your whatever you're stamping stays in the same place. If you need to stamp it again because maybe the stamp wasn't crisp enough, you can do that because it's already positioned. But so I went ahead and did 20 of these inserts. Of course, I had some left over, and I did have to go back in the end because some of my cards are not landscape, they're portrait, so switching it this way instead of this way was something I had to do. But here's another card, and because I made more cards, I did find some envelopes that I had that would go with the card. So this has the early espresso, and this is crumb cake, and this looks like crumb cake, so that's the envelope I'm using. All right, and then here's another card. So this is just like the kit, so you could see that card base. This is the Lost Lagoon card base. I did, again, stamp in the middle, and then this is that card. This one, instead of a tree, it has the gifts in the back, and this truck is a little more rustic. And so I use that, and these are the traditional sparkly sequins that I used, and then this is the sentiment that came in the kit. And then I just used some extra packages on the inside. And then here is the envelope. So this is ready to go. And let's continue on. So here's another card. Now this one I did zhuzh up a little. I took that layer that came in the kit, and I layered it on some cherry cobbler. I used, of course, that truck that's up on dimensionals. Now dimensionals came in the kit, so that was helpful. And then this is the sentiment that came in the kit. I used those traditional sparkly sequins there. And then here's the inside. So this is what I'm talking about when I was trying to, I was thinking, oh, I don't have a lot to do. I did stamp the inside, the inserts, but I had to go back and stamp a couple of these because the direction is different. But there's that. And here's another one. So this is very much like the kit, although I put it on some crumb cake and then on some cherry cobbler. So this is another sentiment. It's kind of the banner style. So the sentiments were in the strip and the banner. So here's that banner. And we'll keep going here. Here's another one I did with the crumb cake. I layered it in black. And I do like those layers. I feel like it makes your cards pop. And then it's on crumb cake, and this is using that sentiment. So we have 4 of these banner sentiments available and 4 of the strip sentiments. And then I'll put it in this envelope, and it's ready to go as well. Okay, here's another one. Now, this one is like the kit says, so I don't have any layering. So you can kind of see the difference of when you, so here's one. So you can see the difference when they're layered. So this one's not layered, but it's the same. And let's see, now we're getting into some of the ones I think that I have brought in product. So I brought in the Snow Days scrapbooking kit, and I used, there's a sheet that is all like buildings and snow and trees, And so I just tore some basic white to make it look like snow, and that's layered on that plaid and then on some Pool Party. And so that's that. I am really contemplating maybe trying to create some bottle brush trees to put on there to give it some more dimension. But I'll see what I can do, or maybe even a bow right here might help out. And there's the inside. So that's ready to go as well. And then I did this. So this is from I think a paper pumpkin. So it goes with the plaid. And I did the Santa, or the snowman, I'm sorry, is from the Festive Friends. And so are these little snowflakes. So they're this die right here. I did those at a Pool Party. But you see this looks like dots, or they're supposed to be snowflakes. I could not wait to use my, let's see, what are they called? Snowy Delights decorative masks. And so I really wanted to use them. So I got out the Pool Party, and I used, this is number 4 mask that I used. So these, oh, sorry, this is number 4 right here. So there are 4 masks, and you can layer them, or you can use the first one as a standalone. But each layer does something different to create the intensity of the snowflake. So I am going to be using these next week to show you some different designs with them. But this notch usually indicates, so it should be kind of facing this way if you're lining them up. This notch is an indication that you are lining them up. So anyway, so I did use this on here with the Pool Party, and that is what gave me those little marks. My intention was to make it look like snow in the background, and then I did just embellish it with some of those snowflake dies. These trees are also from the Festive Friends dies, and they are, looks like one of my dots came off. It is this little whimsical tree right here. And then I just took some of that plaid and then just put it in here to decorate the inside. So, and there's that. And then I wanted to tell you about the colors on here. I was coordinating all the colors together because I'm trying to use that. I'm trying to draw the attention to the Pool Party. So this is my Pool Party pencil, the watercolor pencil. So don't forget your pencils and your markers, because you can definitely use those. This is pumpkin pie, so you can see how I used those. And I did use the textured dies again on this. And let's see here, I used 2 of the Jar of Joy. So I just really, 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 really love that stamp set. And so they're kind of the same. This doesn't have the white layer, but it has the little snowman. This is Pool Party, this is Lost Lagoon. So you can see his scarf is Pool Party and Lost Lagoon, and then the snowflakes are different. But this is a sentiment strip that I did with, I embossed in white on black, and then I took a strip from that Snow Days. This is the sticker sheet, so it was right here. You can see a little bit of it left, and that's what I used for the inside on both of these. So there's that. And oh, this one I really can't wait to share with you. So I have been wanting to, ever since I saw this in the catalog, I just couldn't control myself. I just love this winter scene stamp set. The issue was when I stamped this little cabin with the trees, it's just a small stamp. You can see how big it is, right? So I felt like it kind of got lost, and I really wanted to put something with it. So I wanted to put this with it. So I thought, how can I do that? I did try to kind of like mask it off with some Scotch tape or, you know, that kind of thing, but I couldn't get it just right. So what I did is I stamped this twice. I cut out one of them, and then I laid that here and stamped this, so that's what gives that scene that looks like it works together, right? So that's how I did that. And then I did use my colored pencils, and I know you can't see it probably very good, but I did use the old olive to color in the trees. And then this is my brown. I think it is, I don't remember which brown it is. And then I did take some basic gray pencil and just kind of, I just did some coloring in here very lightly because, you know, I wanted to give it the illusion of ice that is cracking. And so there's that, and there's the inside. And what I like about when you put "'Tis the Season" as the front sentiment, it's this sentiment inside that brings it together and really says that this card is for Christmas. Okay, let's keep looking. So here's another one of those cards using that designer series paper, the Snow Days. So I did use this Merry Christmas. This is a sentiment in the catalog, in the annual catalog. There are these sentiments that they're called mix and match combo packs. And so one of them has sentiments, the other has ephemera. And what's really great about it is they have tons of sentiments in them. So Merry Christmas, or Christmas is one of them. There's Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, birthday, just a whole, there's like, I want to say 8 sheets full of sentiments. So those Merry Christmas sentiments are just, those are perfect, because if you don't have a stamp that says Merry Christmas, there are different ways in that sentiment pack that you can say Merry Christmas. So that's what's on there. And then I did use my twine, so I like this a little better because it does have some fabric on it. And there's the inside. Okay, and then here's this one. This is a different orientation. This is portrait. And this is the Pool Party plaid. I took my Spotlight on Nature dies, and I cut a circle of cherry cobbler, and then the size down I cut the basic white, and so that gives it a good layering. And then this is part of those traditions of Christmas that I already had sitting in my ephemera stash. So I just used that. I used the one with the Pool Party bow to tie in with the plaid. Now I did use this bow right here. Excuse me. This was this came in a paper pumpkin, and I just had a little bit left. It's kind of like a cord. So I thought I would just use it up, but any twine would do. And then I just used those sparkling sequins. And then this is another one of those sentiments from the combo pack. And then here's the inside, and I did cut up an envelope, which is why you see some different kinds of envelopes too. So this is part of that envelope that I just tied it in with the real red here. So there's another one, and then I believe we have one more. And so this is one of those original cards with the original sentiment. And there we go. So let's count how many cards we have, because I know that I have more than 8. But let's see how many I ended up with. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 cards. So I really was only 5 short. of my goal of 20. So I'm okay with that. I have a lot of stamps and stuff that I'm already starting to work on for next week. And I just want to say that those kits really are something you should consider. Also, we'll get a paper pumpkin that will have a Christmas theme. The only thing that is on my mind is that I really like to do Christmas in July, but our mini catalog wasn't out yet, and I wanted you to be able to get Christmas stamps and the dies and all the goodies so that you could, make it your own. I didn't want to start making Christmas cards and then I see all this perfect stamp sets and dies and paper, and I would have been upset with myself. So I'm glad I waited, but I do feel that I'm trying to beat the clock. If you've already started or you start today with your Christmas cards and you follow along, you don't have to beat the clock. But I want to be finished by next week. So again, you can look at any of the videos, go to the blog and see all kinds of stuff there. I am continually adding to the blog. I've done some treat boxes and gift card holders and tags. So you definitely want to look at those. But do consider that if your time is very limited and you still want to do that homemade card, then consider the kits, because they are a great alternative and they are a nice, classy way to make your Christmas cards. So thank you so much for showing up today. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you again. Bye now.